Hi guys, this is Jenny to the bar and I'm Edinam, rapidly becoming Edinam Esquire. And if you're watching me for the first time, welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you're back from previous videos, I don't even know what to say. I'm so grateful to you for coming back. It means so much to me that you're actually taking time off to watch me. And we'll get into the reason for this video in just a second. As you're well aware, I am officially a graduate. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, that's right. Your girl is finally an LLB degree holder. Shh. Drum rolls. Yes. Thank you so much for sticking with me. It's been a tough journey, but I'm finally done with my degree. I think I said that in my previous video that there's a lot of videos or little videos about different topics that I was hoping to cover, and today is just one of them. If you are someone like me who has been in the top 3 position from as far back as you can remember, finishing school with a second class lower might actually hurt a bit because you feel like you're used to always being on top, you're used to always being the best, and now it may look like you're not really the best, but like things happen, life happens, and so maybe you're finishing and you're not getting the class that you expected, but it doesn't make you any less of a person. And I know that now, but funny story, a couple of weeks back I was in tears all the time because I didn't like the fact that I was finishing with a second class lower. I didn't like it at all. So I think finishing with a second class lower was particularly hard for me because I had set very high standards for myself. I mean, I expected so much from myself that it became confusing that I was finishing with a second class lower. Like, I honestly felt like I could have finished with the first class, but I didn't understand what was going on. Like, I couldn't figure out what went wrong, you know, and it really hurts. I mean, I know that I struggled a lot, with my health and everything, but you know, and another thing that's really made this very hard to bear is all along in my mind, or at the back of my mind, I had been praying for a miracle, in the sense that I had been praying for a chance to say like a success story, a chance to be like, even though I was sick in bed and struggling all the time, I made it, guys. First class. So at the back of my mind, I had been believing that, oh, finished hard. And then at some point I realized that, okay, my grades weren't really looking very great. So in my mind I was hoping, if I can at least get a first class and second class upper, I could be like, though I was sick, I still made it, you know. That was the motivation I had, and that was what was pushing me. So that was what I was hoping for. And then at the final end, when I started calculating the grades, and I realized that it was something else. Like, it really hurt. I had put so much pressure on myself to deliver that when it didn't come, I was hurt. So I didn't even wait for anybody to be disappointed in me. I was personally very disappointed in myself at that point because I felt like I could have done better. I was constantly trying to find out what went wrong, but truth is, there's a lot of things that contributed to this outcome, and they all made so much sense. But at the time, I wished that even though those things had been there, that I had still emerged with like a second class upper. But now I know that it's not the end of the world. I mean, it really felt like the end of the world. And you know, there's this thing about people. People will let you know when they're disappointed in you. they would show it. And it's funny because some of the people that will show you that they're disappointed in you are people that shouldn't even think they have the right to be disappointed in you. Like a random person pops up and goes like, hey, you didn't get first class. I'm like, and who are you? You know, but people will just like say these things, and now I can be like, okay, so why does this person think that they could like come and impose their ideas on me? But then at that point, it kind of hurt. It stung a little bit. You feel it burn a little bit because people be like, hey, how come? If I knew, if only I knew. You know, people make it so obvious. You find people posting other people with all these flowery captions, flowery language, and then they don't even want to post you because by their standards you are failed. And it's now I just want to tell you, if you're watching me and that's your situation, it's really okay. It really is okay. But at that time, it didn't feel like that to me. It hurt. I cried a lot actually. I was so sad. But if you're watching this, I think the point of this video is think more about the fact that you've pulled through. You've come far. Hours of studying, late nights, not sleeping, not eating right, being in the hospital for me, like, it's not easy. So coming out, at least be happy that you graduated. It may not look like it now, but it's really not the end of the world. I was crying. I was thinking, what's it going to be like? Hey, me, like I don't even know how to fully express the different things that were going on in my head. But I just want you to not go through the same thing. If you're watching this, first of all, I'd say that, for instance, if you haven't finished school, there's always time to better your grade. Even if you move it by 0.3, that 0.3 can make a really huge difference, right? So don't give up. Don't think that I'm done with 300, my grades are still not looking good. For me, 300 was like a determining point for me because all along from like in 100, I didn't understand what was going on. I was in the classes, but I hadn't found my footing. You know, I was really confused. I was lost. I didn't know how to go about the whole law thing. And I only discovered rather late. So I'd say 300 is where things turned around. So don't think that, oh, I started 100 and it didn't go well and I'm in 200 and that one is also not going well, so you give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Like 300 and 400 can make everything better. Even if it's just 400, it can make everything so much better. So for me, I'd say first of all that no matter where you are, just know that there's still a chance to make things better and don't give up. And also, I'd say that take care of yourself. There were so many times I had to take sick days that really affected my academics. So physical health, mental health, don't joke with your mental. I think mental health days were so many for me, like even more than the sick days. And I was sick like half of the time, so you can imagine, like I'm constantly being sad that I'm sick, then it makes me sick that I'm sad, you know. So if you're in school, take care of your mental health. Have self-care days. Learn to love yourself. It helps so much with academics because you're not constantly sad. You're wasting time being sad when you could actually be studying. And I think it's important that everybody takes steps to work on their mental health while they're in school. And also, if you're watching this and you don't have a study group, get a study group. Like, I can't stress how much my study group helped me in 300. Like, if this is where I was initially, this is where they took me. Like, that's how bad it was. Study groups are so important, and I struggle to get a study group because I'm not good with making friends. I'm not good with people sometimes, I guess. But it was so beneficial to me that I kept asking myself, so why didn't I do this thing earlier? So why didn't I try to get one earlier? Like, if especially if you're studying law can't be in one person's head. Law is best studied as a group. So if you're there and you're learning on your own, it might help you, but you might need that little something from other people. That's the thing. Yes, I definitely think that you should get a group. If you're watching this, group study is so important. So important. Because group study helped me so much. So these are like some of the little things that you can do to better your grades so that you don't end up finishing and being all sad. At least even if you're done and it didn't turn out too well, you know that you put in your all, you know. Get that group study. Just don't join one that will constantly annoy you, because then what's the point? But try to get a group study that will be very beneficial to you. One that will push you to learn, and one that will help you, you know. And well, I think for studies, one final thing I can tell you is what I realized with myself was that yes, I understood everything, but I wasn't really captured, like it wasn't reflecting in my results. So one thing you should definitely do is also study how to answer questions. Like, half of us know the answers, so we actually know the answers, but how to put it on paper is something else. It's not that your English is not good. You just aren't doing it the way the lecturer who is going to mark would expect it. So definitely speak to your seniors, study your lectures, like understand them. Sometimes it's not even about what you've written, it's about how you've written it. That alone can change your grade, honestly. So these are some of the things that you should be studying. I mean, I can't tell you every single thing to do, but I'm hoping that the little I've said helps you. And finally, I'd say that a support system is very, very important, especially with law students. Law will break you in so many ways. Law will crush you in so many. You will feel crushed on so many days. But having people there to tell you, oh, it's okay, get up. Yes, you've fallen, but get up, wipe yourself up, and move on. It's so beneficial. Like, and getting people to believe in you as well it does so much. It does wonders. So I think that if you're watching me, build a very great support system for yourself. Like, choose people that will feed positive energy into your life, not people that will break you or people that will make you sad or things like that. I'm saying this because when I first found out that I was graduating with a second class lower, I was heartbroken. And I had already started crying, inside and outside. But when I showed my grades to my dad, he made everything go away. Like, that was how easy it was done. Like, I felt so bad because I felt like I had disappointed myself and disappointed him, disappointed everybody, you know. But, you know, he actually pointed me on the right direction, because all this while I've been busy thinking about, hey, so I didn't finish with the second class upper. Hey, first class, no, not even second class upper. But then he kept pointing me towards realizing that I didn't have the average person's year. You know, I didn't have the average person's stay in the university. Half the time I was sick, half the time I was in the hospital, half the time I was dizzy, I couldn't focus, I had to catch my breath, I had to lie down. These are not things everybody else went through, but I did it and I still came out with really good grades. I didn't fail. What he said that really got to me was, he said to me that I'm proud of you, I'm proud of your strength. I'm surprised that you were able to push through in spite of everything, and that's what makes me proud of you. And so that's why I'm saying that I found support system is very, very important, because he made me realize that it wasn't the end of the world. I mean, I felt like it was the end of the world, but I wasn't considering the fact that I had been through a lot, and it was an eye-opener for me, because all this while I had been focusing on the wrong things. But he pointed me towards the fact that I was very strong, and now I think that it was actually very strong of me to go through the semester the way that I did, or go through the year or the whole 4-year period the way that I did, because I really wasn't well helped like a lot of the time. And so for me to finish, especially when I was this close to deferring, for me to still go on and then finish, because it took a lot. Like my dad kept saying, so won't you take a break? Take a break. You can take the school year next year. You're still young. And I'm like, I won't do. I will not do it, you know? So I felt like that was me being very strong and resilient, and I wouldn't have noticed that if someone hadn't told me that, you know? So if you're watching me, get a support system. I can't stress this enough. I can't. So yes, I finished with a second class lower. Yes, I was sad. I'm not even going to lie about it. I was sad. But at the end of the day, I've realized that it wasn't the end of the world. And I'm so proud of myself for going through everything that I went through and still like emerging victorious. To me, it's a victory. I don't know how you would see it, but to me, it's a victory, and I'm so proud of myself. And if you're watching this and maybe you're feeling sick, you're struggling with your mental health, you are constantly weak, I just want you to know that if I was able to finish, you can finish and finish better. You know, that's the point of this video, just to tell you that I suffered, but I finished. So if I finished, you can finish too. And I'm helping you and hoping that you're motivated to finish harder. Thank you for watching Journey to the Bar. It's me, Edina, once again. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you.